Hello everyone, it is Erin Floater here, and I am here with another 10 types video, and it has been a hot minute since I've done one of these types of videos. But honestly, I was having a hard time coming up with concepts. So I am back today with a 10 types of professional development spreads. And if you want this type of series to continue, please let me know in the comments below what 10 types of spreads you are looking for. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first spread, and this is for professional development in terms of either you are in a position at work and would like to further your position or advance in the company, or you are a college, high school kid and you are looking to try to find a job and would like to try to figure out what path you are looking for. So that's the direction I went with these professional development spreads. So the first one I have for you today is a self-reflection. So this is honestly one of the most important things you'll do when you're trying to figure out where you want to go in your life and in your career, because you need to know where you're at and what you want to find a way to get to that point. So I have a self-reflection page for 5 different strengths that you have. I gave examples here. I learn new tasks extremely quickly, or your weaknesses, that you are easily distracted, or I jump to new tasks before completing others. I am one of those people that I jump around tasks a lot. So some of my projects are 75% done and others are like 50% done. And it takes a while for me to get to 100% completion if there's no timetable for that particular project. And then I have down here skills for the job that I want. So one of the things that you'll learn about professional development and professional development plans are that there are certain skills that are required for that position that you have. For example, I put management experience if you are looking to become a manager. And then the development opportunities that are available for those skills. So for example, in my job, if I want management experience, there was a position available as a coordinator role. And so that position in itself is a development opportunity to get that management experience skill that I wanted. Another, for example, for me is you have to have knowledge in the inspections that are under you. So if I want to lead a group that does Clean Air Act inspections, then I need to know the Clean Air Act. And so development opportunities for that may be different types of trainings and such. So that is a very quick self-reflection page just to gauge where you're at, where your strengths lie, where your weaknesses lie, the skills that you need, and how to develop those skills. The next one is a development plan. So you start with your skill, the type of training for that skill, the time frame that you're looking to complete that training, and any associated costs. For example, this first one may have a cost. The second one is on-the-job training. So there's no personal cost to me. It may have a cost to my company. So very simple development plan, but very good for developing those skills, because this is something that you would take and then you would put on a resume for the types of skills that you have and the types of trainings that you completed and things like that. So coming up with a development plan to develop those skills and get the necessary training shows a lot of initiative for you. That's the idea behind the development plan. The next one is identifying wants and opportunities. So I put a section here for dream jobs. So you may only have one, which is great unless you don't get it. But I have space here for a bunch of different dream jobs. And then on the other side, I have opportunities. So where an opportunity may present itself and the time frame for that. For example, this is just one that's off the cuff. There is a division that I am a part of in the federal government. It's called ECAD, because if you know anything about the U.S. government, every single thing has an acronym. And then there's section chief position. So that would be the next available advancement opportunity for myself. And so when I put this together, I was like, okay, what is the kind of time frame that I'm looking at? And unless someone moves up to another level, the section chief positions probably won't open up for about 5 years, because that's when a bunch of them are set to retire. And in the federal government, pretty much everyone keeps their job unless they move up or retire. There's no just like leaving, typically speaking, unless they're going to a different agency or whatever. So that is identifying your wants and opportunities. Again, for personal development and professional development, you need to know where the opportunities lie in order to try to get to those places. So number 4 is future career. So this is more for college-y, high school kids and trying to figure out their path, or for someone that isn't happy in their current career and they're trying to go into a different career path. So these are just like little flow charts here. So we have a scientist, and then I have a basic section. So that's basically like what your pay would be for your desired geographic area, what is the breakdown of that type of position. For example, as a scientist, you could be a bajillion different things, right? You could be a chemist, you could be a biologist, you could be a marine biologist, you could be an environmental scientist like myself. So there's a lot of different areas that you can go. So maybe the different types of scientists that you are interested in. Is a degree required for that particular career? If yes, what type of degree? That's a little bit hard to determine, but like if you're currently in college, you kind of know the spectrum of if it's just a bachelor's degree or if you require more. For example, I have a master's. Most people that I work with, at least entering into the positions now, have master's degrees. So I would say it's pretty consistent with my type of work that a master's degree is required. For some people, a PhD may be required. For example, if you want to go into academia, you have to get a PhD. There's just kind of no ifs, ands, or buts, right? And then the advancement opportunities in that career. For example, in the federal government, there's a section chief, a branch chief, and then you kind of get into, there's also deputy division director, and then you kind of get into the senior executive service. So for each advancement, you can kind of break down what that would mean for that type of advancement. For example, a section chief, you have to have a certain amount of years in the federal government, and as a certain level, as a certain grade scale level. I think you have to be at least a 13 for a year before you get into a section chief position. It's very complicated in the federal government, but there are a lot of job postings that it will kind of break down how long you need to have been or have experience in a certain field to be able to be a manager. So that's the kind of advancements that you can put there. And then obviously you can have multiple tracks. Moving on to number 5, we have an exploration page. So this is just, let's put down everything on the map. So these are things about me, what I'm interested in, skills I have, values that I want to be consistent with my job. Opportunities, what types of career options are available for those types of interests, skills, and values that you have. Doing career research based on pay, location, things like that. And then opportunity trends. So a lot of this comes down to buzzwords and timing. For example, if you look up things related to climate change now, there may be a lot more than 10 years ago. But you can see a lot of trends going certain places with certain types of jobs. So those are the opportunities. The next one is focus. So what are your goals related to finding a career and developing that career? What are your decisions related to those goals? So or decisions related to those opportunities? Are you only going to pigeonhole yourself into one type of job or circumstance, one type of location where you want to have a job, things like that? For example, if you don't want to leave your hometown or you don't want to leave a certain geographic area, you may be pigeonholing yourself into opportunities. So those are the types of decisions that you have to make with you, your loved ones, your family, blah, blah, blah. Next steps for those types of decisions. So that could be, oh, I realized through all of this that I need a master's degree, so I'm going to go and get a master's degree. I realized in all of this that I need on-the-job training in a trade, so what are the next steps with finding apprenticeships or something to that effect? And then the last one is actions, experience, and then next steps for that experience. Like I said, if you decided to do an apprenticeship, what's the experience level you can get there? Number 6, a lot of this you'll see is focused on kind of skills, but that's kind of the whole point of professional development, is you need certain sets of skills to move forward. So this is a job skills development chart. So I have a few different variations of this. So this first one is a progress bar on certain types of skills. So you have the skill type and then the percentage of progress. So that may be related to one training. It may be related to an entire program that covers multiple trainings, things like that. Then I have this skill 1. So this is actually broken up into 12 slices. So maybe you're working on a skill over the course of a year. So you want those 12 different slices so that you can mark off each month. Maybe you're doing it by the month and you want to make some progress every single day in a certain type of skill. This could be something like typing quickly. If you are in a job where you have to push out a lot of papers, academic writing, what have you, maybe you need to get your typing skills faster. So you're trying to develop that. Or it could be you're trying to learn a new language for your job. So maybe a monthly habit tracker is more sufficient for you when it comes to that particular skill. And then the last one here I have is a time tracker. So I have 1 through 12, so that would be AM, and then 1 through 12, that would be PM, and then what hours you are focusing on a particular skill. So this could help you figure out what times of the day is best for you to work on that skill, what type of motivation you have while working on that skill, and then logging the amount of hours that you worked on developing that skill. Number 7 is an annual assessment. So this is some basic language, but you can actually look up and Google different types of annual assessments. For example, I have a currently section where it says, I am a physical scientist at the US EPA in my 6th year. That is my actual circumstance right now. I make XXX per year. I have blank feelings towards my current position, and I feel that way because blank. So that's kind of putting your mark on where you are at, what you want to do, and how you feel about what you are currently doing. So your current situation. And then you look over the course of last year, what went well, what I accomplished, what needs to improve. And then for next year, what is my most important goal? What needs to happen for me to be happier? So if, for example, if you put, I have negative feelings towards my current position, what do you need to do to be happier in your position? And then next year's motto, that's kind of more like a word of the year. Maybe getting through next year is just let's get through it, or just keep trucking along. Maybe you're happy with where you're at and you want to just make little steps forward or something like that. So some sort of motto that you have for a year. You can do a ton of different types of annual assessments, but this is just an example. The next is more conceptual rather than an actual bullet journal spread, and that is a vision board. So one of the things that I do love about vision boards is having a whole host of different types of designs and pictures and focus words and things like that. Canva is a really good location for working on vision boards. And then, again, this is more conceptual. maybe you put it in your bullet journal, take a picture, and put it on your monitor background at work. So a vision board, I do love vision boards. I will link some references to some vision boards that I love, and then link you over to Canva in case you want to create a digital version of your vision board. And what I like about this is if you put it on your background on your work computer or your work monitor, then every time you minimize your screens, you're going to see that, and hopefully it will invigorate you to keep moving forward. Number 9 is big steps and little steps. So this is related to a goal. So this career goal, for example, is management and experience. That's what I had referenced back here, the skills I need for the job I want. So let's say my career goal is gaining management experience. Big steps that I can take for that career goal. For example, this is my own job. Manage auditing inspectors, develop training center for inspectors, manage state inspectors. So all of these have me managing a program, managing people. As not a manager, but it's that kind of job that gets you into a management position. And then little steps for that particular big step. So for example, managing an audit, I need to send training reminder emails. I need to work with inspectors who are missing their items and prep for a summer audit. So those are just some little steps I need to take for this bigger step to ultimately help me with that career goal. Last but not least, I have a skills table. Again, this is very common in professional development, and these are the main skills that most people will have in their jobs. You have communication, professional knowledge, time management, planning, and decision making. And so I have different areas that you look at when it comes to moving forward. Improvement areas. So for example, time management, I'm unable to focus on one task at a time. So how do I work on developing that? My action for development, time block training, effective time management training. Those are things that I can do to try to improve on that skill. What kind of time scale am I looking at for this type of training? So maybe these trainings are being covered over the course of 2 months. Maybe you're waiting for a training that is a year from now. So things like that. And then what evidence do you have for that training, for that skills development? Time blocking. So if you are creating an effective time blocking technique, for me, it would be like in Microsoft Office. Typically, my Outlook calendar is where I would do that because that is linked to our meetings. So I already have time blocking in there for my meetings. And then is it effective, essentially? Versus professional knowledge, maybe I need to have training certificates for when I've completed that training. So those are some ideas behind a skills table. So that is all 10 items for a professional development. Again, a lot of this is self-reflection, goals-oriented, skills-oriented, and where you want to go. So those are kind of the main crux behind your professional development. So again, I will link some resources down in the description down below. I hope that this video was interesting to you. This is something that I'm particularly interested in now that I'm taking over some training things for my work, which I wasn't, to be honest, entirely thrilled about before. I'm still not sure if I'm entirely thrilled about it now, but I know that this is going to help me to get to where I want to go in my career. So, sometimes you have to take the not dream job in order to get the dream job. So those are what all of these spreads are about. Thank you so much for joining. If you want more 10 types videos, again, please let me know in the comments down below what kind of 10 types videos you are looking for your bullet journal spread ideas. And I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.